ready?
Yup.
Is there an introduction or we just roll into it?
Do an intro because we're gonna put it on the channel.
I am the introer.
You are the intro.
All right, nice. What is up, everybody? I like to steal Tam's intro because he does that every single video. This is Phil with Unfun Stuff, and I finally entered a tournament for the first time since Worlds. So we're gonna kind of go over my meme deck. That almost wasn't a meme deck, and then I just like toppled super hard at the end, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's very fun. It's a very fun deck. So as you guys can see, based on what's on this table, this is a Chaos Tim Keefe deck, which is not typically what people would play. It's not something that we've really seen since like Boulder Barrage Ganbu got banned or changed, I should say. So this is, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat to play out. A lot of inspiration came from watching Tim Keefe build a Chaos deck on one of his streams. Yeah, so let's kind of get into it a little bit. As you all know, Tim Keefe is pretty good. Twice per turn, bump your check up a little bit by 2 if the card that you're playing is a higher difficulty than the preceding card, which lends itself super well to cards like Fusion Refusal and Hunt for Spires, which I had as 4 ofs. And then the other effect is twice per turn, seal one of your opponent's foundations. So since I had last played him, well, I guess it's not true. I did play him in an Indie PTC with an errata, but he's been changed pretty largely. Like you can't just keep stacking the check like you could at Nationals 2019. Yeah, 2019, because there was no 2020 Nationals. Yeah, so this is a cool deck that we weren't really seeing a lot of Tim Keefe's over the past year. Realistically, I mean, there were some at Worlds, but there weren't a ton of them at online events that I can recall through like Retro or the various standard events that were played out online. I can't speak to the weeklies, obviously. But yeah, still a super good character, super cool, super unique in how he can play offense a little bit better than a lot of the other characters in the game, just because he can seal 2 of your opponent's defensive foundations or seal their immediate answer right before you use a like really impactful effect.
And they keep nerfing his bad matchups, dude.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I think until throws stop doing 50 damage, his bad matchups still exist.
Yeah,
and throws do 50 damage right now.
They sure do.
But yeah, kind of gonna jump right to the attacks, because I think they're like way more important than half these foundations. Because my attack base is like the only part of the deck that I actually liked after playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But because the attack lineup is so cool, it is super cool. It offers so much like explosive offense and like versatility even in super early turns that I definitely turned 1 Sam Tate in game 2. He got to play like his foundations out and then he died. And like that is the kind of versatility that like I don't think should be in the game, but I think it's really cool when something like that is an offshoot thing can happen. Like if it's consistent, I think it's bullshit. And like I know Bromley personally hates the shit out of turn 1 attacking. I also am not a big fan of dying consistently on turn 1, but I think it's kind of funny when you can like piece together the perfect hand to do it. I think I have a little bit less of a problem with it. But the 4x attacks are reduction, which is pretty staple because Chaos can't fucking do damage. Actually, Chaos is the worst damage symbol, I'm pretty sure, in the game. And that's going to give obviously everything 2/2. Plus, it's a lower difficulty attack. So if you play another high difficulty attack after it and you check bad, you can use Tim Keefe to bump up the check. And the other attack that's like gets like the whole like premise of this deck was this Sleigh Ride card. This card is actually nuts. It's always 7 speed. It always removes itself from the game. And sometimes your opponent gets to draw a card, which doesn't matter that often when your attacks are 7 speed.
Right.
And you could like this guy was sick all day. It was just like anytime I had anything I could play on turn, I turned 1 through this guy like all the time.
It was
no
like,
downside.
And it was a late edition too. Remember, we started with none of it, and then we added 2 for fun. Then you played it once.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this guy's 4.
Yeah. It was like what if we try the Christmas cards? And originally it was like 4 of the foundation and like 2 of this guy. I'm pretty sure I played it once on you and it was like, wait, no, this card is actually nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sick. I don't think it should exist. I think it's probably a little too good because you could just throw it on turn 1 with certain characters, but it is very, very, very cool.
It is definitely the sweetest 3-check missile launcher I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. If it had stun 2, we'd be in business. But you're right. I will take one more to the check for -2 stun.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Yeah, I mean, it let my opponent draw cards, and I feel like if there were more decks I were playing against actually involved momentum, I didn't really end up playing against a lot of the decks that are going to be playing like all these holiday cards. Like this guy would have just been broken all day.
No, for sure.
But because I played against a lot of like non-momentum using cards, like yeah, sure, my opponent got to draw a lot of cards, but this is like just a huge attack that was thrown at people. It was nuts. There's 3 life force threads. Should have been 4. That card's should have been 4. That's the biggest card in the deck. It does 1,000,000 billion damage all the time, pretty much. It makes my next attack do 1,000,000 billion damage all the time. And then 3 Merry Mantis, which at least every single person I played against had to read. And I actually think this card's really good, honestly. Like after playing it, maybe it's a very specific for like Tim Keefe thing, but it is pretty good. Like even base stats, like a 3 difficulty, 4 damage attack, sounds nice. It's attack you can play Gateway Shuffle on. I certainly had a turn where I still had Tim Keefe's effect up for a second use, and I Merry Mantis pumped to play a Gateway Shuffle that I couldn't fail then and got a kill with it. So it's like, it's very cool. The later the game goes, the easier your next check gets. And like this deck didn't really give a shit, so I just was removing my entire discard pile most times. Like, all right, take all of these guys and throw them away. Which lent itself really well to playing main decked copies of Guardian's Final Duty as well, which was cool. Sadistic Ways was awful. I should have taken it out. I had an inkling I should have taken it out, but I never did. It just didn't do anything at all. It should have probably been like 1 more Hate Fish and 1 more Life Force Thread, but I wanted a 4 difficulty attack just so I could kind of keep a consistent chain of attacks with getting higher and higher difficulty as opposed to all 5 diffs, which would really kind of struggle without.
Right. Well, you didn't have like it feeding into like Ghost Thieves and Flying Your
Oh, it never got to, dude. It was always so. It was. I think if it wasn't a weapon, that might have been the case. But I feel like every time I drew it, my opponent just had Soul Calibur, and I was just like, okay,
right.
Well, this sucks.
And the rest of the lineup is not a weapon, right?
Like there's Merry Mantis and Ghost Thief, but if
so,
someone's Soul Calibering Merry Mantis, I'm thinking I'm taking that as a win. You know, like
you do take that dub.
They don't know what's coming in after that, so if they're just like, all right, Soul Calibur Merry Mantis, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, go for it. Ghosty Funeral was nuts. I should have played maybe 2 of it. It was super cool.
You did play
I wish I had. Oh, I mean, another one. I meant, sorry, 3 of it. I wish I would have had some of those Christmas guys in the deck. The Snap Momentum guy. Yeah. I know it would have been a little weird to work around, and I would have changed my entire foundation base, but like we'll get into it. I actually think I should, and I would play this deck again, but more aggressive almost, or like a few changes here and there, because I thought some cards were bad and some cards were really overperformed. Flying Yamato Spear is super cool. Nobody really plays it anymore, but if you follow a reduction off of it, like it's just 1,000,000.
That's it. That's a 16 damage.
And once people see like people were pretty keen on blocking reduction all day, which makes a lot of sense, but it did make a lot more of my attacks just like feel so much better. Whereas like, okay, well now you have less cards to block the rest of this string with, and that was cool. I do wish there was a little bit quicker momentum. Like I said, the Sadistic Ways could have maybe just been Yamato Slam. Yamato Slam might have been pretty good instead, because that would have been quicker momentum, or Yamato Saramu or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, but Sadistic Ways is 2, both of the momentum.
That's true. It does give me 2, but it was not great. I can assure you it was not great.
All right.
Though sometimes I felt like it was gonna be super sick, and then I didn't get to do it, and I felt really bad. Hate Fish is another card that could have had an increased number. It's just one of those things that sometimes was randomly coming in like 9 low for 1 billion because of like Life Force Thread. It It would just be like 8 low for 8 or some shit, and it's just like, all right, here you go, or 10 low 10 or something with reductions. It was cool. It was a cool card. I never really got to play with any of the rando attacks, so getting to like experience them all was nice.
My favorite hate fish moment I've ever had was removing Malian in my evil Quan, and then showing them 2 attacks and making it for 21.
Oh no!
And you're just like, hey, bro, here's a 1 low 21.
I hope you can block it, guy. That's sick. That's sick. The assets, I played 2 copies of Blood, Sweat, and Beers because I'm on it. It probably could have just been 1. It could have been 0, but I'm always gonna play a copy of it if I can play it. Not that it's bad, it just didn't really fit the theme of the deck very well.
Sure.
Gateway Shuffle, I think that if I went back and did it again, I'd play 4. It was really good. Like it was really good. Like as defense, it was awesome. As offense, it was even better. Like it felt awesome. Like all day.
Yeah, it's in a chaos deck. It's kind of like having another attack, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because my attacks, like you could see, like there isn't really damage pump. You know.
Yeah. Like
there's 2 damage here, 2 damage there. But like overall, Gateway Shuffle is like, all right, get me there. You know, like you just throw another 6 and hope it sticks, or throw 6 on Life Force Thread, and you're like, all right, well you're still taking half.
Right.
Yeah, no, that card, I would definitely go up to 4 gateways and 4 Life Force Threads in a rebuild of this deck. And I actually think I do intend to rebuild this deck a little bit, because I think this deck was really fun. It just could be shored up a little bit to be more coherent and not a little bit all over the place. It's a little all over the place right now in the foundations. The one-ofs, I put 1 Secret Stash just because I figured people were going to be getting a lot of momentum. I never drew it, so it never really came up. I don't know.
It's neat.
It was like a cool idea.
Yeah.
The idea was just like get rid of their momentum. In theory, if I ever had it out and I needed like Mary Mantis for an extra check, I could have discarded 2 more foundations for my deck. In theory, but yeah. 3 Eyes of Hiei is super cool. Another card I never got out all day, but I do really like 3 Eyes of Hiei. In like as a concept, like you get to see your next check to see if you're gonna fail anything. Your opponent's next check to see if they're gonna fail anything. See hopefully their last card if you got to that point, and then change the zone of your attack. And that's like, it's a lot in a nice little nice little package.
Yeah,
plus the deck has to kind of run 3 dips anyway to maximize Tim Keefe's response on build turns. So like getting away with the 3 dip there didn't really hurt at all. Never played it, but it didn't hurt. I would have liked to have played it.
Very true.
My 2-ofs were spam mess nightmare hell is what I'm going to describe that as. The 2 dips that were really good are those last 3.
Right.
Superior Genetics is awesome. I would definitely play 2 of those in any deck where you can't fail it. Because that card is actually super cool. It's just like reusable speed hate, reusable check. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, that card's nuts. It's just it's a 4/5.
Yeah, it's a 4/5. Guardian's Final Duty was cool. I actually think that could stay as a 2-of and not be a meme because of all there's a lot of remove costs in this deck.
For sure.
There's the Sleigh Ride thing. There's Gateway Shuffles. We got Mary Mantis, Redeemed Rogue, its own effect, Outworld Heiress. Like there is a lot of remove.
How was Redeemed Rogue for you? Because that was
Redeemed Rogue
the very
was
last thing.
Awesome.
Okay. So,
Redeemed Rogue was awesome. Like I wish there were more so I could actually do damage to people.
That's what I thought was going to end up happening.
Yeah.
We sort of was just like, we should probably put 2 of these in because there's a bunch of ranged attacks and
yeah, it was actually awesome. I was like, oh my god, I can do damage to people if I have this.
Damage.
We can hit people. Samurai Roboto was really only in there as an extra way to activate Life Force Thread.
Right.
So like, in a sense, it could have just been any other spam.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna,
it also had a low block.
If you're gonna go with what's it called with the Sleigh Ride card, I think that you should put Mechanical Ninjas in because it makes 2 checks. It can give your Life Force Thread the other speed that you need or the damage, right? Yeah, it would give it damage. Food for thought.
I guess the only instance there I would have an issue is like it doesn't give speed, so
Oh, it
like I
doesn't
can't
give
really
both.
give the
You would have
life
to find it
force.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
you would have to find the speed somewhere else.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't dislike mechanical ninja, but yeah, it would definitely be a thing where I'd have to look at it. The problem with the deck was like the spam count is not exceptionally high either.
Yeah, it's like
But like Tim Keefe can get over that, you know? Like you can get away with only playing like 12 or 13 spams or something. I think I was at like 15.
15. Yeah.
I was at 15 and a lot of them were really awkward.
Yeah. I mean,
Chasing
like,
the Fight Money has 2 super good effects on it now. Like it does stop Breaker, which I did get to use. It does stop like Yin and Yanks and stuff, which I also got to use. But in the match I did get to use it, I just got high rolled anyway, so it didn't matter.
oof.
It's got crapped on by one of our patrons, so that's karma, dude. He keeps the lights on, so I guess he's allowed to do that. Evening with Gren, I would keep at 2, even if I went to 4 gateway shuffles. It's not like it's super necessary. Like you're gonna draw gateway shuffle. You're a 7-hand size character.
Yeah.
And
Nice
Evening with Gren's cool, just being able to like snap pick it up sometimes, you know.
Yep.
Inhuman Speed doesn't fucking, that card has no effect on it. It's a blank card. That's a blank 0/5. I could have played any of them. I could have played fucking the Sasha card. That's like Journey of the Seas or some shit. I don't remember that.
You know, it could have been over the top.
It could have just been over the top. That's true. Yeah, like I was saying this during the day of as well. Like if I leaned really heavily into like a turn 1 meme, this deck probably could turn 1 a lot of people.
Right.
So yeah, like over the top would just be strictly better. This just has low block, and I know at one point I was struggling for low blocks. I don't know if that's necessarily still the case. I would just have to retool it a little, or just not worry about it, because like aggro decks, you just can't really, you can't hedge your bets for everything. You know.
Yeah.
You have to be able to play aggro in some way. 3 of Sinister Malevolence would have been super sick to see against Andy. I didn't. Was super sick to see against Cassandra. I played against both of them. Those are the 2 matchups it was in there for.
Right.
Probably would just turn it to a 2 of and put one in the side.
Fair
like
enough.
Honestly. That's Shelver Proud Man. Incredible card. Tried to save my bacon from throw a few times. It never did, because it tried to save my bacon from multiple a couple times too. It never did. It was just a fucking nightmare, man. I was getting hit by every keyword all day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That card's super good though. Obviously it's super good. I did have people reading it, and I was just like, what is going on in the UFS world where people don't know what Shelver Proud Man does? But
It's because it's a DLC card, and some people just haven't been playing the game.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, if you haven't been really screwing around with TTS too much, you're gonna be like, what do all these DLC cards do? Because people definitely read Hell Guardian. People definitely read that card. People definitely read Spiritual Connection for my side deck. Like,
Right.
Outworld Heiress, that's one of my favorite cards. In standard still. It's got like a super free R on it. You could just R, lose 0, and respond and negate your own R with Blood, Sweat, and Beers if you ever need a block, if they're both on board. That's one of my favorite combos that I've been using in a lot of the evil decks I build, but I got to play it in Chaos, and that was kind of neat.
What I really love about this is some people's answer to Tim Keefe, or like, not answer, but like one of the annoying things you have to deal with as Tim Keefe is like somebody who's just going to sit around a bunch of momentum and protecting the protector, and you're just like, nah, put that in your hand, and now I actually have to steal your stuff.
Yeah. That was it was good against that, and I wish it was a little bit better against the no progressive sword. Is that Owl Shield or is that Elk Shield?
Owl Shield, yeah, Owl Shield.
I wish it was a little better against Owl Shield, but giving your opponent a +1 mid block generally doesn't matter that much.
Right, yeah. Well, cool, I get the block with this now.
Yeah, I wish it was a little bit better against that, because I think that card is just absolutely bonkers. It's been the bane of my UFS career for about a year now. I think that card's so stupid every time I see it on the table. So
yeah.
But yeah, I love Outworld Heiress. I love Outworld Heiress and Face of the Monster. They both kind of go hand in hand in any deck I can put them in at this point. They're 2 of my favorite cards. I think Mortal Kombat had a lot of good support for a lot of underrepresented symbols at the time. So yeah, Hell Guardian was cool, guys. It seems like a meme, but that card is actually kind of cool. It allows you to like play your Life Force Threads E without having Ev Reduction. Because you can just throw anything before it, Life Force Thread, and then give it stats. I believe that's how it works, right?
Yeah. You just respond Tim Keefe, right?
Yeah, respond Tim Keefe or play it after Mary Mantis, stuff like that, where you could just like, all right, Hell Guardian. I actually loved it a lot more that I put since I put Mary Mantis into the deck, because it didn't mean I was super reliant on using it only when I Tim Keefed.
Right.
And that
I'm not like the biggest fan of the card because I think it's kind of greedy, but the deck really needs damage, right? Like that's what
sure,
it's really
sure.
searching for.
It never came out, but if I played against a Taguro Brothers deck and I had something like on board that was super essential, it also, or during like offense, it could have protected it as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
They could have negated it, but it wouldn't have at least gotten destroyed. Like
It's a
it's
neat little
not,
piece for sure.
it's not the best card in the entire world, but in a deck that is so starved for damage that you have to like routinely throw fusion refusals at your attacks to hope it works. Like, yeah, it's rough. Four fusion refusal, because I mean, fusion refusal is like really what gets the ball rolling on defensive turn. Offensive turns, like this deck's got enough tricks to like play itself out, but on defensive turns, fusion refusals is super good. It can be useful on offensive turns as well, but to me, it was more of like, all right, -2 damage. Now I can start blocking, because there's a lot of bad blocks in this deck as well.
Right.
Where Light is just broken. I don't know. This card's fucking nuts. This card just gives your opponent's attack flash pretty much. So, because there are so many people playing enhances they can't actually play.
Right.
It has another effect on it that's actually pretty good. And I wish I would have had it out during like, I don't know, anytime I played against a fucking deck that played Bamboo Blind Slice.
Oh, or Windmill Punch.
Or Windmill Punch, or just fucking anything where I could actually, used its effect.
True.
But never could. Dude, yeah, that's why we put the Yamato Slam in, because it's a reversal, dude. We can pop out their good attacks.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah, shove some reversals and know the power of the abyss.
I guess I could play the Power of the Abyss if I have Yamato Saramu in my deck. And then 4 Hunt, because I could play it after any attack. Well, almost any attack. I can realistically, I could play it before any of my attacks. Like, if I'm playing Reduction out of 4, I'm still probably fine.
Yeah.
But it was really fun being, like, Hunt for Spiders, then playing, like, the Sleigh Ride guy. Because I could fail it. I could check a 2, and I would be like, oh, I guess I fucking lose. But realistically, that turn 1 was pretty secure. Because with Tim Keefe's response, even if I check a 3, I can just tap 1. I'm still building a foundation. I'm still throwing a 7 damage attack that clears, or 7 speed attack that clears itself on turn 1. Like there were a lot of turns where I poked really, really hard on turn 1. I hit Mark Tyner for 14 on 1. I killed Sam Tate on 1. I routinely was throwing these guys for 6 on 1. Like turn 1 was a really good poke turn for this deck. Unfortunately, this deck's late game is kind of dog shit. But if you draw like 7 attacks, like that's your late game is drawing 7 attacks.
Right.
The side deck could have been better. It wasn't the worst, but it could have been better. Gyro Jane Gash, I was very disappointed I never drew it against the only multiple deck I played against, because I would have watched the matchup, actually. Shell of a Proud Man, that could probably just be in the main deck. I don't know. That card's nuts.
Yeah, card pretty
Throw
good.
Hate, make sure I don't die. Outworld Heiress, I would take out of the side deck. I didn't need Forever. I actually kept pulling it out of my side deck to put in my deck and going, I'm just kidding. I don't need this in my deck. And just put it back in the side. Peaceful Messenger is good in Tim Keefe, actually. I liked this. It was good against Mark Tyner, actually. And it's like completely big time throw deck.
Right.
Feigned Interest. I got it out against the multiple guy. I still lost because he had all the multiples to kill me with.
Right.
Soul Calibur I probably don't need, but it's just in there. It's a really good card. And Spiritual Connection actually won me a game, so we keep those.
There you go.
I played against Raphael too, and he could not use his free play a card because the next card he had to play could not be an attack he shared a name with.
Ooh. Oops.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun deck. I had the most insane strength of schedule that I had seen in an event in a while.
It's true.
It was like the 72 or some shit.
You had higher than me, and I was Swiss champ.
Yeah, I played against 3 people who went 4-1-1. My round 1 matchup, he's a patron also. His tag is Illison. I don't remember his actual name.
Aaron something or other.
He did really well as well. Everybody I played against had like just insane records. It was crazy. I think my average like opponent's record was like 4 and 2. Like if you like got all rounded out, but yeah,
Chris
I played
Miner
against
is
the fourth.
also a Patreon, by the way, a patron.
Yeah, that's why I said I mentioned him earlier.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
I mentioned him when I said he was a Patreon, so I was okay. He beat my ass.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, yeah, it was crazy. I think everybody did really well. I played against the 4th, 5th, and 6th seeds. No, 3rd, 4th, and 5th seeds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play against you or Jose. Those are the 2 top people I did not play against that were at the very top of the standings. But yeah, it was cool. It was a fun event, and I'm glad I played in it. I like commentating. That was really fun with Tam as well. But I might try and enter another standard event, like the next time they do a standard one.
Yeah, it's just fun. Well,
I don't think you'll catch me dead at a retro event, guys. That's not gonna happen. But I will definitely be interested in playing in more standard events because you get to bring out cool stuff like this. I've got a cool Jeffrey deck I would like to play. I got Ken 2 is really fun. Like, there's a lot of just fun stuff you can play where you don't have to like take it super seriously and try and play the best deck like Mark Tyner every time.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. I'm listening, man.
What did you think about the extra 2 cards going second?
I actually liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, maybe as a product of what I was playing, but it never really seemed like it was super big of an issue, you know?
Yeah.
It seemed like it kind of balanced out a little bit. I know a lot of people probably saw it as a little bit more of an advantage than it should have been, but I think it was really cool.
I think the consensus that I've been getting from people is that 7-handers got a little bit too much, and it was great for 5 and 6-handers. And
it might be like a scaling thing they need to do.
Yeah. Like my idea was you Jackie Briggs the thing, and just everybody draws up to 8 cards.
Oh sure.
Now that Goro and Shiva are out, you don't have to worry about 4 hand size being way too strong. But
sure.
Now, I mean, take it with a grain of salt because I was playing Yoshi, and Yoshi as at 11 hand size would probably be toxic.
Yeah, man, it was already toxic.
It was already toxic.
You just got Lamau. You got cheesed.
Yeah, I cheesed myself, dude. It's all good. And Sam Tate's a great player.
Good.
But
yeah, we love Sam Tate. He was like my funnest person to play against, and it's not because I turn 1'd him, because like our first game was actually a super fun like close game. Also,
right.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
I would just like to see a ban on turn 1 attacking.
Dude. My whole Tim Keefe deck.
Please, you, dude. Fuck
please.
You. Stop attacking on 1, dude. You animal. I don't.
No way, dude.
I'm so tired of it, dude.
My Hero Academia format is the format for you, dude.
That's my format, dude. It's the baby.
Let
format
me kill people on turn 1 as long as it's not super consistent.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that, but if it's like Nightmare playing Boulder Barrage into Boulder Barrage, like that's not fair, you know? Like that's not cool.
I mean, killing a 7-hander on 1 shouldn't be a thing that happened. And it happened twice in 2 days with your deck. So
hey, man, that's not my fault. You guys should play more defense.
Yeah, it should play. Didn't Sam Tate block one of your attacks with a breaker too?
Hey, dude, he played 6 during his first turn. He should have thought about that. He should have thought that I would have. He should have thought about the fact that I could have double hunt to flip over both of his healed by a shamans. That's his fault.
No.
Hey guys, don't feel bad. Sam Tate was playing Lord Raptor and he got second. I didn't even make top cuts. So obviously his day kept going pretty well after he lost to me.
So what are the changes you think? You think you put it back in the stowaway? Maybe you put some more secret stashes to go chase him.
Yeah, it would be something where I'd probably cut numbers of stuff in, like, I'd probably cut these guys over here, like the face and the Outworld Heiress and the Sinister. I would definitely cut back on spams. I would cut out probably a copy of Outworld Heiress, probably a copy of Face of Monster, and I would go like really heavy into cheese.
Hell yeah.
Like I would really just try and meme. Like there probably would end up being over the tops despite me thinking it's not a great card. It might even be Clear Cutter, honestly, because Clear Cutter on 1 makes your opponents harder to block.
Right.
So like it would go really heavy into cheese. I'd play a 4th copy of Gateway. I'd probably not play my asset despite the fact that I think I have to. Like I'm a blood pact of it, you know.
I think there's we can wrap up the video actually, but I think there's got to be some things that make like 5-up checks so I can play Firefly Gunner and fail all the checks to give it 1,000 damage.
Oh sure. I actually went and looked for check effects.
Mm-hmm.
And there were not that many. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like
you could play the Sleigh Ride card, and you could play I fucking cannot remember the 05 Sasha Foundation's name. But that card would discard them off your deck
Right,
to
it gets
then get
3
the
of them away.
response.
Right.
And then it also lets you put a foundation you cleared into your card pool. So if you're playing cards like Fusion Refusal and Over the Tops and Hunt for Spiders and Dragons, it's not as bad.
Right.
So that might be something I'd look into too. And it's got low block. But yeah, in conclusion, I'm going to build this deck better, and I'm going to come for your guys' ass on turn 1 next standard tournament. So keep your fucking eyes peeled. And if you want to have fun, or give this to a new player, it's totally perfect for a new player. You take out some of the cards that have a little bit too much text on them, and you just like make it like a Lamau deck, and like they'll have so much fun.
Yeah,
you'll have a friend for life in UFS if you allow your friend to play this deck, like a new player. They're gonna have a fucking ton of fun. But yeah, that is the deck wrap up for this guy. If you have any questions about playing Tim Keefe in general, feel free to message me. On anything, pretty much. Not Facebook. It gets a little too much on Facebook, but if you guys blow me up on like in the comment section on YouTube or Patreon or Discord, I'd be happy to answer.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for allowing me to do this. Very fun.